In the massive global conflict of the Second World War, battles were decided by tanks, artillery, and machine guns. But for the individual officer, pilot, or tanker, survival often came down to the last line of defense strapped to their hip, the sidearm. Today, we are doing a deep dive into the arsenals of the 5 major powers. We're examining 25 legendary pistols, from engineering marvels to desperate stopgaps. We'll look at why Germany ditched the Luger, how an American typewriter company built the best 1911s, and why the British clung to revolvers in an automatic age. Welcome to the ultimate World War II pistol comparison. Start with Germany. Their sidearms were known for high quality, advanced features, but sometimes over complexity. Number 1. Walther P08, the game changer. Introduced to replace the expensive Luger, the P08 was the first military pistol with a double-action/single-action trigger. You could carry it loaded with the hammer down and just pull the trigger to fire. It was reliable, modern, and the standard against which future service pistols would be measured. Number 2. Luger P08, the icon. Despite being officially replaced, the Luger was still widely used. Its unique toggle lock action is a piece of mechanical art. It pointed naturally and was incredibly accurate, but it was expensive to make and notoriously sensitive to mud and dirt in the trenches. It remained the ultimate Allied war trophy. Number 3. Mauser C96, the broom handle. An outdated design by World War II, but still highly valued for its high-velocity 7.63mm round and long range. It was often carried by Waffen SS and specialized troops. Its wooden holster doubled as a shoulder stock, effectively turning it into a light carbine. Number 4. Sauer 38H, perhaps the most advanced pocket pistol of the war. Used by officers and the Luftwaffe, it featured an internal hammer and a revolutionary lever on the side that could both cock and decock the hidden hammer safely. Way ahead of its time.
Number 5. Astra 600, a neutral contribution. Made in Spain specifically for Germany, this was a compact, simple blowback pistol. Despite its small size, it was chambered for the powerful 9mm parabellum round, making it snappy to shoot but potent. The American philosophy was simple: build it rugged, build it in massive numbers, and make sure it hits hard. Number 6. Colt M1911A1, the undisputed king of American small arms. John Browning's masterpiece. After fighting drug-crazed warriors in the Philippines years prior, the U.S. demanded massive stopping power. The 1911 delivered the slow, heavy .45 ACP slug. It was durable, reliable, and served as the standard U.S. sidearm for over 70 years. Number 7. Smith & Wesson Model 10, in an age of automatics, the simple revolver was still vital. Known then as the military and police, hundreds of thousands served with MPs, sailors, and flight crews. It was simple: 6 shots of .38 special. If it didn't fire, you just pulled the trigger again. Number 8. Colt Official Police, built on a heavier frame than the SNW, this was a rugged revolver intended for law enforcement but pressed into service for plant guards, MPs, and intelligence officers who needed a bomb-proof, reliable weapon. Number 9. Remington Ran 1911A1, a fun fact of the war: the best 1911s weren't made by Colt. They were made by a typewriter company. Remington Rand produced the most 1911s during the war, and due to their expertise in precision stamping, their pistols were often considered superior in quality and reliability to Colt's own production. Number 10. High Standard HDMS, the silent killer. This wasn't for frontline troops. It was a .22 caliber target pistol fitted with a massive integral suppressor. Used by the OSS, the precursor to the CIA, for assassinations and covert ops. It was terrifyingly quiet. Soviet doctrine demanded weapons that worked in freezing mud with zero maintenance. Comfort and safety were secondary. Number 11. Tokarev TT-33, the Soviet staple. Mechanically, it's a simplified copy of the American 1911. It fired a very high-velocity 7.62mm round capable of piercing thick winter clothing and even light helmets. However, it had no manual safety, making it dangerous to carry with a round in the chamber. Number 12. Makarov PM, appearing right at the end of the war era, the Makarov replaced the Tokarev. It was a return to a simple, direct blowback design. Smaller, safer, and ultra-reliable, it became the symbol of Soviet authority for decades to come. Number 13. Nagant M1895, one of the weirdest revolvers ever made. It featured a unique gas seal system. When you pull the trigger, the entire cylinder moves forward to seal the gap against the barrel. This boosted velocity and, uniquely for a revolver, allowed it to be effectively suppressed. Number 14. Stechkin APS, a massive pistol intended for vehicle crews and artillerymen. It had a 20-round magazine and could fire fully automatic. However, it was too heavy for a pistol and too weak for a submachine gun, making it a niche weapon. Number 15. Korovin TK, the first Soviet semi-auto. This tiny .25 caliber pistol was often carried by senior officers and NKVD agents as a status symbol or a last-ditch hideout weapon, rather than a combat implement. The British military clung to the reliability of revolvers, believing that pistols were for directing troops, not fighting them. Number 16. Webley Mk4, the classic symbol of the British Empire. This top-break revolver allowed for very fast reloading. It fired a heavy, slow .38/200 cartridge designed to tumble upon impact, delivering a massive kinetic blow to the target. Number 17. Enfield No. 2 MKI, a variant of the standard service revolver designed specifically for tank corps. They removed the spur on the hammer so it wouldn't snag on tank interiors or uniforms. This meant it could only be fired in double-action mode, making accurate fire difficult. Number 18. Colt Commando. Britain was desperate for arms and bought thousands of these from the US. It was essentially a Colt official police revolver with a cheap, dull Parkerized finish for wartime expedience. Italy produced some beautifully designed pistols. Often hampered by underpowered ammunition or questionable materials. Number 21. Beretta M1934, the best Italian pistol of the war. It featured Beretta's signature open slide design, which virtually eliminated stovepipe jams. It was rugged, simple, and reliable, though chambered in a relatively weak .380 ACP cartridge. Number 22. Beretta M1935, essentially a slightly smaller version of the M1934, chambered in an even smaller .32 ACP. These were issued primarily to Air Force and Navy personnel where space was at a premium. Number 23. Brixia Mar. 1935, an attempt to replace the Glissenti. It was overly complex, expensive to make, and used a locking system that wasn't necessary for its weak ammunition. It was not popular with troops and saw limited use. Number 24. Glissenti M1910, it looks like a German Luger, but looks are deceiving. It used a complex, weak locking mechanism. It fired a 9mm round that looked like a Luger round but was loaded to much lower pressure. If you put German ammo in this gun, it could blow apart in your hand. Number 25. Tettoni M1915, a World War I leftover. When World War II broke out, Italy was short on modern arms, so these obsolete revolvers were dusted off and issued to rear echelon troops and guards. A desperate measure for a desperate army. 25 pistols reflecting 25 different approaches to warfare. From the brute force of the American 1911 to the technical sophistication of the German P08 and the rugged simplicity of the Russian Tokarev. These weapons were rarely decisive in the grand strategy of the war, but for the soldiers who carried them, they were an indispensable companion in the darkest of times. Which one would you choose if you had to carry one into history? The stopping power of the .45, or the capacity of the 9mm high power? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more military history. See you in the next one.